It's the penultimate round of the season. Welcome to qualifying for F1 Academy 2024, where we could see a champion being crowned at the end of today. But for now, let's hand you over to the world feed. It is everything to play for here in the F1 Academy Championship. We're in the daytime in Qatar, almost heading into night very soon. It is round 6 of 7 of Season 2 of the F1 Academy Championship. This circuit designed primarily with motorcycle racing in mind, and this 5.4-kilometre Losail International Circuit is very fast and very flowing. There's a lot of medium and high-speed corners around this 3.36 miles circuit. Over 1 kilometre of the track's total length is made up of the main straight, 16 turns and 4.18 metre elevation change, and it is designed really well for qualifying. It's going to be fantastic. My name is Jess Ball, and joining me in the commentary box for this qualifying session, we welcome back Wes. Wes, we had a really good practice session in F1 Academy, and we just said start of F1 Academy qualifying will be delayed, so we have to talk for quite a bit, but the two practice sessions was quite interesting yesterday, and welcome, Wes.
Yeah, thank you, Jess. It's lovely to be back again today, and I'm looking forward to filling some time with you. Yes, practice yesterday, extremely interesting. There was a number of drivers that could well take pole position today, not least of which wildcard driver Alicia Palmovsky, who I'm very much looking forward to seeing what she can do today. But it's all looking to be Abby Pulling, who can take the championship later on today in race 1, and it certainly wouldn't hurt if she were to get pole position as well, and the 2 points that come with it.
Indeed, 112 points are on offer this weekend for the final 2 race weekends. A driver will need to bring home each of the 4 available race wins for multiple drivers to be within a chance of winning the title. So what's the earliest that Pulling could win the title? So to do this, 2 points for pole, that would help. So will the fastest lap. But a victory, a second place finish, or a third will guarantee her the title. Additionally, she'll automatically take the title if she holds an 84-point lead, 95-point advantage over Pin she has at the moment. And if it was to continue on to race 2 tomorrow, a lead of 56 points or more by the end of Sunday will be enough to see her victorious. And in order for Pin to have a chance to get the title fight going to Abu Dhabi, Pin needs to outscore Pulling by at least 12 points in qualifying in race 1 in order to keep her chance for beating her in race 2. And victory in the final 4 races will boost her 150-point total by 108 points. So, not impossible, but surely it is Pulling's to lose with the advantage that she has over her 2 rivals.
Yeah, I would say so. It's a 95-point gap with, if we only include the points in the races, only 100 to be won. So it's looking almost entirely certain that we'll get Abby Pulling taking the title today. If she is able to win the championship in race 1, well, that race takes place at 11 o'clock p.m. Local time, so probably have to go straight to bed rather than celebrating it. But yeah, no doubt it will. She'll still be enjoying the hell out of it.
I think she really wants to get the title wrapped up really early on, really, just so she has less pressure on herself. And the prize at stake is not obviously just a nice trophy, but a GB3 seat for next season. Alicia obviously was in GB4, and speaking of Alicia, that's what we're seeing right now, giving her the thumbs up. GB3 is prestigious, but let's hear from. Oh, are we? No, we're not going to hear. Never mind.
Oh,
So GB.
Picture in picture.
Yeah, it is picture in picture. It's confusing me, but GB3 is just such prestigious. Many drivers have come from that to F3. I think more than any other driver. Of course, the other being Frecker. It's just such a really good championship, and I've seen the GB3 calendar. It's not just British tracks that they're going to. It's quite a lot of European tracks that the GB3 championship is going to be, and obviously pulling, she'll probably get her first experience of it, but obviously don't count Ping, but Abby Pulling will need to have a DNF in order to happen. But it's great for the F1 Academy Championship as a whole to have a feeder series to go into as soon as they win the title, because once they win the title, they can't compete again.
Yeah, that's true. GP3 is going through a lot of changes right now with the calendar, as you said. Traditionally, they only had one event outside of the UK. In the 2025 season, half of the calendar will be made up of races in continental Europe, so that's a big change. It's very cost effective as well. That was something. Oh, am I going to go and hear from Alicia?
No, we're not, because Josh is busy at the moment, Wes.
No, Josh is... excuse me, I totally forgot. Yeah, just going back to what I was saying, GB3 always envisioned as a very cost-effective alternative to the FIA-accredited Formula Regional European Championship, and it really does do that. You probably get slightly more drivers from Frecker entering for FIA Formula 3, but not by very much. GB3 really does send a lot of drivers to F3, so it's very cost effective indeed.
We have Omi in the pits, and speaking of a feeder series, we'll get out from the F1 Academy just for a moment and bring you some news that happened this morning, and Omi could share his thoughts because, of course, he's the Formula 2 expert. Paul Aron going into Alpine as a reserve driver for next season. Obviously, this season he wasn't backed by any team. He got dropped from Mercedes, but now he's going to be backed for Alpine for 2025. What do you think of this news? It's about time that Paul Aron is backed by a Formula 1 team.
Yeah, absolutely. It is absolutely time that Paul Aron is finally backed after what was a very interesting season for him, which of course started with him being dropped. Then of course he watched Maloney do all of the winning for a bit. Then when he fell off slightly with some incidents on the circuit, it was Aron who was being consistent, not getting those wins. He's still not won a race in Formula 2, which might change this weekend. He could become a 17th different win of the year, unbelievably, if he's able to do it. But yeah, Paul Aron really deserved. Unfortunately, it did mean that once again he found himself getting into problems, but I think he's found some momentum once more, which is great to see, and he really does come alive at circuits, especially where we go racing in the night time as well, which we'll do later on for Formula 2. But yeah, great to see Aron getting the opportunity. It does mean that Victor Martins might have just been, well, has been shoved a little bit down the order, but with Victor Martins, I think the main thing definitely is that he could possibly find himself going to another team, and rumours suggest that he will be racing in Formula 2 next year as well with ART. So I'll talk more about that later on. But Jess, really interesting, really well deserved, and it's great to see another driver getting a huge opportunity.
Yes, I remember, of course, during this season, we've had, I think, a record amount of reserve drivers get their shot at either doing FP1 or even fill in for a race. We saw with the likes of Ollie Behrman, of course, do a few races, Franco Colapinto, Liam Lawson. So it is the best chance really for Victor Martins Paul Aron to really prove his worth. And who knows, we could see him on the grid for 2026 with a new team potentially in Formula 1, which is very exciting. Estimated start time is about 15:30 local time, which is 3 minutes to you and I in the UK and Europe, for those of you that are watching. So this is probably why it was delayed, probably a little bit of a change of the boat. I do believe Porsches were on before F1 Academy, so probably something has happened there, Wes.
Yeah, I would imagine so. They had their first of 2 races this morning. Unfortunately, it's not broadcast, so it's very difficult to say. Yes, only the people at the track would know for sure what happened there. A barrier repair, of course, is something not foreign to us as viewers of F1. It's something that's taken very, very seriously by the safety crews down there, and it seems to be not too much longer, I would say, before we can get going again. What was it? 15:30. So yeah, just under 2 minutes time.
Yeah, that is good, of course. Thank you for bearing with us whilst they were sorting out repairing the tracks. Of course, we don't want anyone else to hit that. So fair play for them having a delay at the moment. But your order in the championship, obviously, Abby Pudding, 245, Dorian, 150. Maya, 120. Chloe Chambers in 4th place. Not far behind Chloe Chambers. Marty on 101 points. So the fight for 4th and even 3rd in the championship could be interesting between those 3 drivers. But all the cars, all 16 cars, are getting ready to start their laps around qualifying. They need to deliver twice around this circuit. Their best fastest lap will set the grid for race 1, and their second fastest lap, Wes, will set the grid for race 2.
Yes, that's right, and that really makes these drivers need to work on their consistency, because there's no point in doing a banzai lap and grabbing pole position if your second fastest lap is going to put you down the back. So you really need to be as consistent as possible, take care of the tires as much as possible while still pushing them, of course, which might seem counterintuitive, but it's what these drivers are used to, it's what they have to juggle, and largely they all do a very good job with it.
Yeah, sorry, I was just clearing a bit of my prompter, which is there. I was just making sure that was okay, but I think it's all good now. Oh, now it's delayed again.
Oh, no.
We were getting hyped up. It's a delay by a further 2 minutes. So I was about to say, and the green light is going on for F1 Academy, but we're not. That does mean, though, we're going to be on for a very tight off, because straight after this is the pre-show for the sprint race. For F1. So yeah, we're going to be on the tight off. We're not going to have much of a break, which means how am I going to fit in lunch? Because I'm pretty much busy all day from now. So yeah.
But those barrier marshals, they weren't thinking of you, were they?
They weren't thinking of anyone. But yeah, it's delayed by even more. But that means we may not have time for interviews, because obviously we'll be probably for a quick off. So for those of you new to F1 Academy, 10 drivers are backed by, well, 11 drivers actually, backed by a F1 team. But of course they have 10 different teams, which are obviously series teams from Formula 2 and Formula 3, like MP Motorsport, for example, ART. And the mindset's going to change quite a bit, because they were told, oh, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then they were told, oh no, actually we're going to be delayed even more. How's that going to affect the mentality of a driver? They just got to have their mind reset once again.
Yeah, it really affects drivers differently. None of them like delays, obviously, but some drivers, the very best drivers, are able to tune it out. They're able to stay focused. A lot of them tend to just close their eyes and visualize the circuit. And yeah, as I said, the very best, it separates the best, the very good, from the elite.
And it's delayed again by another 2 minutes. I think we're going to get even more delays at this point. But Omi has just shared what happened in the Porsches for the delay in F1 Academy, and that car, that we can't share it on stream, obviously, due to copyright reasons, but that car looks incredibly damaged. The tyre's fallen off, the barrier's quite damaged as well with the gravel trap. It just didn't look nice. So that is why we are delayed by F1 Academy, due to a crash in the Porsches. So typical. But the wind, it is fair enough, isn't it? Because the wind can be absolute nightmare for any car around the circuit, especially cars which are big as Porsches. So yeah, not that surprising.
Yeah, it doesn't really bode well, does it, for everyone about to come out on the track. Obviously, there would have been a lot of wind last night, which would have blown sand onto the track. We are out in the middle of the desert, of course, here in Qatar. As I said before, the very best drivers can rise above that sort of thing. They'll probably do a couple of extra formation laps just to get the tyres in temperature and clear away some of that sand. And yeah, we should be able to get going with not too much delay once they put the green flags out.
You can see on your timing screens, and we can see on our timing screens, that the session has been reduced to 23 minutes. And just like that, as soon as we talk about it, it says on the World Free session will start in approximately a few minutes time, and then it will end at a few minutes to 4 local time, just so enough time can be spent on getting the grid ready for the Formula 1 sprint race, because of course Formula 1 takes priority compared to other feeder series. So yeah, and we're about to get underway, hopefully no more delays. Thank you very much. So here we go then. All 16 cars are raring to go here in Qatar, the Lusail International Circuit, and it is green light on. Here we're about to go qualifying with a reduced session here. It was 25 minutes, but now it's 23 minutes, so the timers did catch up with itself. But it's Dorian, the first driver, that goes out onto the circuit. But with this reduced running, right, it doesn't leave enough time for all drivers to get 2 fastest laps in. They just got to get it going for the get-go.
Yeah, it's made an already difficult job even harder. So it's no wonder that they're all very desperate to come out onto the track straight away. We see Abby pulling on screen now, trying to get track position. Unfortunately, she's found herself in the middle of that queue, which is definitely not where she wants to be. The drivers will have to space themselves out at least a little bit before they get round again to the start-finish line. Space is at a premium. Up at the front here, Dorian Pa, she's found herself at the front, and I'm sure that's not accidental, but just behind her is Maya Verg in the Ferrari liveried car, and they will have the advantage going into the start of qualifying.
And we know Qatar in feeder series could always have a precedent of bringing red flags. So if you're near the front, you're going to have a very good shot of getting your best laps possible as quickly as possible. No time for exploration lap for these drivers. They just got to get going straight away. As I've noticed, I'm looking at my timing screen. Oh yeah, everyone else is out of the pit lane. Maria Marti just took a little bit longer. That's because she wanted some clear air out of everybody at the moment. So we're about to get underway. And we're coming towards triple right-hander coming up, which is absolutely beautiful in Formula 1 cars. And there's going to be people that want to move out of the way as quickly as they can. So I think I would expect a few laps from all these drivers. So the first few drivers are just starting their first laps here in the Lusail International Circuit. Here we go then. I think I did see a few drivers pop into the pits because they've wanted a few clearer air, which is fair enough. Some people, though, they're not wanting to get going straight away. They want to get a banker lap and then a push lap a bit later on, which is fair enough.
Yeah, I must say, of the two, I'd prefer to get a banker lap in. It's not unusual under normal circumstances just to do a reconnaissance lap first and then come into the pits for some tuning. But you really would think under these current circumstances that you'd want to get a banker lap in first and then worry about the fine tuning a little bit later. But clearly these drivers that have come into the pits are attempting to brave it.
Attempted to brave these cooler conditions with it getting almost night time here at Lusail. Of course, sunset's a bit earlier. You can see the beach in the background, which looks absolutely beautiful. These are the type of conditions that these drivers will be racing at tomorrow for race 2. So we get to see more of the lovely, beautiful views then. But it looks just so much more magnificent in the nighttime. It's harder to tell where they are on the circuit in the daytime as well. It's very tricky. So just bear with us as well as we get into it. As we're seeing another, let's just see which drivers are in the pits. Actually, so we've got Emily de House pulling, Edgar, Loving Fossey, Bustamante, Block, and Nobles. They're not out on the circuit, they're in the pits. Everyone else is out there on circuit, including the 2 championship protagonists are challenging for the championship, with Abby pulling, and also our wild card for this weekend, Alicia Palmowski. I will get her name right eventually, but I do apologise if we don't. We'll see some lap times to start with, but they're not going to be as competitive as we are about to see. Oh, Dorian Pin is going into the pits. Never mind. So they're doing 2 exploratory laps. I was not expecting that, Wes. Are you?
No, definitely not. There is currently just under 18.5 minutes of this session left, but of course it's not the shortest lap that these drivers will get this calendar year. So, but they seem to be pretty sure of themselves. A lot of them would have done some fine tuning in practice, but clearly some more adjustments need to be made before a fast lap can be completed.
Indeed. So a few people not feeling as confident. We're seeing the ones who stayed in the pits just venturing their way out. Lola Loving Fossey is the only driver out there on track, but we're seeing Emily de House pulling pretty much the 1-2, did 1 exploratory lap and now gone into the pits and then come back out again. They're out right now, and they've got some clearer air as well. They didn't have to wait for a rush right now as well, so I'm sure the other teams will be just timing it just a little bit more just so they get that clear air on track, because any dirty air is going to be absolute nightmare. So no driver with 17 minutes left to go has set a competitive lap time. So we're going to see their first laps done now, and then later on they'll do their last few laps. And then of course their fastest lap will set pole position. Of course, Bianca Bustamante was seen with the team yesterday in McLaren yesterday, celebrating Lando Norris's sprint pole position, spoiler alert. It has a lovely MasterCard logo on the livery, just like the McLaren livery as well. It does look nice. It does fit with the colours as well. Absolutely beautiful. But I do not want it to be called next year MasterCard McLaren F1 or McLaren MasterCard F1. It would be a really weird name for our team. Just call it McLaren. We're seeing Abby pulling now as she makes her way through into sector 2.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think too many certain sponsor names can be a little bit tacky plastered on the side of a car, but that's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. Advertising is a must in an expensive sport like racing. And Abby Pulling is about to start her first lap.
Yeah, she is. Here she goes on the start-finish straight, making her way towards turn number 1. And she's getting her heat into her tyres, so I think she will set another lap very, very soon. She's coming across a lot of traffic, actually, through turn number 1. But luckily, some of the drivers will hopefully get out of the way, though. Abby will have to abort that, Wes.
Yeah, unfortunately, traffic is an eventuality on a track like this. You might not think it because it is such a relatively long lap, but as we saw in practice, we saw a few close calls, not least of which was Hamda El Qubaisi going a bit slowly and nearly getting rammed up the back by who was it? Bianca Bustamante in the McLaren liveried car, which I believe El Qubaisi was given a reprimand for that. Though nothing
oh yes,
more,
she
luckily.
was. So yeah, it was expected in practice. You do get a reprimand, but if it happens in qualifying, you'll probably get more of a penalty because it affects the driver's lap times. But if it's banker lap, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. You're seeing Chloe Chambers on your screen being interviewed. I think what she was discussing was about testing, because bearing in mind, testing around this circuit was only a few weeks back. So they had lots of testing time at this circuit, a lot of data. They had a chance to tweak their setups a little bit as well, which is always great to see. with of course 14 minutes left to go. A reminder that Abby Pulling could win the title today. If she takes a victory and takes pole position, then that's pretty much her confirmed as a Season 2 champion, and she'll make her way into GB3 next season. And she's having a tough time to make sure she can set a good lap at the moment, as we see one driver in the pit. But Abby is going to go again, of course, to start her first run and see where she is in the speed trap. And we're seeing times topping at the moment as a 2-minute 1:59 for Aurelia Nobles, as she's now fastest. But Block was a 2-minute 3.6. So using all that curve quite a lot around this circuit. You really got to attack around this circuit because there's not many places where you can breathe and brake around this circuit.
No, there really aren't, and we're just getting they're not really representative lap times at the moment. All the drivers can go much faster than that. Pulling's probably going to be the first of the representative times, that's coming at more than half distance of this session, so we've only got 13 minutes roughly of this session left. Chloe Chambers, who we saw before, I forgot to mention, she's already signed up for next season. Quite a lot of the drivers are on their second year and therefore won't be coming back, but Chloe Chambers will be occupying the Red Bull livery. Not the Red Bull Racing livery, but the one currently occupied by Emily the host, the Red Bull Ford livery. So that's good for her. Among some of the others, the McLaren livery is going to be occupied by Ella Lloyd, who is currently doing a brilliant job in British F4. She finished in the top 10, not very far behind Abby Pulling, actually, in that. So I'm expecting good things from her. We've also got Rafaela Ferreira, who is currently doing great things in the Brazilian F4 Championship. And lastly, a driver, 16-year-old Alba Hirup Larsen.
16!
Yeah, 16 years old, fresh out of karting.
That's insane. That makes me feel old. But anyway, your timings so far. Dorian Ping, fastest with 1:55.988. Closely followed by Maya with a 1:56.243, and then it's Abby Pulling in third with a 1:56.325. Alicia Palmowski, fourth place, not far behind Maya, Abby themselves. So this could be an interesting fight too, going into it. So they may get some more laps done. We saw that in free practice too. We saw drivers do multiple runs, so it won't be their first one, as Houseman is second slower than Dorian right now. Let's see what Maya does going into set 2. She's not far off sector 2. So we'll see how close she can get to Dorian Ping sector 2 time. 2 tenths slower than Ping at the moment, but it is not that far behind. She is improving on her lap time, but let's go on board with the Aston Martin backed car of Tina Houseman, sweeping through the final corner. What's it going to be for Tina Houseman? It's going to be... She goes P8, so she does improve on lap time. Abby Pulling lost time in the middle sector ways, but let's see what Maya could do ending towards the final few corners. Start, finish straight she goes. Is it going to be enough to not pin off the top spot? Yeah, she does by 2 tenths. That final sector, she was quicker than her by 2 tenths. That's what did it for her.
Yeah, Maya Berg got currently provisional pole, and in fact Dorian Pam's just done a time as well, which keeps her in second place. Alicia Palmowski goes up into third position, just
we have Abby supporting that.
Yeah, Abby Pulling. She got traffic on that lap and has dived for the pits, so her qualifying so far not going to plan.
Nope, it's not. I mean, most of her laps, she didn't get a good lap in because she did it the first with her banker, so I think everyone else has timed it quite nicely. But let's watch on board with Chloe Chambers, as I think that's probably an invalidation, but she would have lost time anyway, wouldn't she, Grace, with how much she attacked that curb. But yeah, she was it was all 4 wheels off the track, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those corners where you they don't really have to monitor track limits because of the gravel trap on the outside. It kind of does the job for the stewards there. Also, Leah Block running wide. That's a different corner, but with a similar effect. Here's Nerea Marti on screen now. She was one of the drivers, interestingly, one of the savvier drivers, I thought, to wait a little bit and not go out onto the track at the same time as everyone else.
Seems to be working in her favour.
It does, yeah, absolutely. I believe she has signed up, if I'm not mistaken, with a LMP3 team for next year, so it seems she'll be, yeah, absolutely, she'll be leaving single-seaters, sadly for us, but she's definitely not leaving the racing world. So
who knows? We could have JB
line now. Sixth place,
not bad. Who knows? We could see her in JB Extra or JB Motorsports Extra, a new channel that we got as well. I didn't see what just popped up on my screen. It came up quickly.
Emily DeHost has been caught speeding in the pit lane.
Well, that's slam dunk, isn't it? If you speed in the pit lane, that's going to be a fine. As Chloe Chambers improves just ever so slightly. Block goes fifth fastest. Cameron Al-Kabasi up to the line. Goes fourth fastest. Not that bad at all. Not too shabby. Chloe Chambers has got to find a bit more time. Her last lap, she was struggling quite a lot to get the lap put in. So here she comes then, heading towards the final corner. Really, really good first season for her. Surely she won a challenge for the title next season. Up to the line, only goes 13th.
Yeah, last driver to set a lap time, but Chambers in no hurry to set a competitive lap time for some weird reason. Maya Berg on screen now. She's gone purple in Sector 1, and Chloe Chambers' time has been disallowed, I think, for track limits.
Yes, so she's the only driver to set no time at all. Maya in these conditions, she just seems the most comfortable. I think there's nothing separating herself and Ping. I think it could be those two, because they seem to be at the track at the right time, not getting blocked by anyone. They're switching who's going to be purple in the first or second sectors. I think if it's a track where these two need to deliver, it's this track. Maya has not had a race victory. Dorian has. Would it be amazing for Maya to get her first win in F1 Academy?
Oh, it would, absolutely, it would, yeah. It's rather odd, actually, that Maya's in this championship at all, because as she goes fastest currently, 3/10 faster than Dorian Pav, who's about to complete a lap time as well.
There she goes,
P1! But yeah, going back to what I was saying, it's rather odd that Maya Berg is in this championship at all, because she came from Formula Regional Europe, which is the next place up on the feeder series ladder, and she did pretty well in that. She was a semi-regular point scorer, so the fact that
maybe
Ferrari,
she wanted more exposure.
Yeah, it's possible. She's part of the Ferrari Driver Academy, of course, and they probably prioritized exposure over moving her up to Formula 3. Here's a look
So that
back
was Abby
at
being
Abby
blocked. Should I block for something, please?
Please?
Block. I can't respond to you if you're constantly. I couldn't see because my camera's blocking it.
Yeah. Should I box?
It's not happy.
Bleed. I'm not sure what. Yeah, I'm not sure what she means by bleed there. That's
I think it's a code word, maybe.
And they're swapping the front two tires around there. That's very odd. Maybe they weren't.
My tires were struggling. The tyre wear is always an absolute nightmare around Qatar anyway, as Chloe Chambers almost hit the brake marker board.
It is, yeah. Normally, tyres are assigned to a certain part of the car, so the fact that they're swapping them around is extremely odd. Maybe they weren't fitted to the correct wheels or the correct parts of the car in the first place.
No.
But, yeah, very, very odd indeed. Maya Berg
That's going to be tough
on
for
a
her.
new lap.
It's going to be
It
tough
is,
for her
absolutely,
to.
yeah.
I think my prediction is, I think Colin's going to have a tough time of things. I think she may win it in race 2, the championship, but race 1, probably not. As Dorian goes up to the line, she doesn't improve on lap time. Abby is improving ever so slightly. Oh no, she's going to get blocked again, is she? Oh, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's fine, it's fine. She's going to get the toe. She's going to get the toe. That's fine. I was worried that it was a different part of the circuit. Abby goes up to the line. P3. That's respectable.
Yeah. She's managed to salvage something there, so she'll at least start in a semi-good position for races 1 and 2. Race 2 will be, of course, slightly compromised due to the fact that she's not able to get a clear lap.
It wasn't a perfect lap through this corner. She was struggling to get her tyres into temperature. Look at that. So she could have gone quicker.
She's close enough to the back of Leah Block that going through the many S-bends of this circuit, she's just going to get the wash.
She would have had to brake a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And the dirty air coming off the back of Leah Block's car as well, it certainly will not help.
No. That's just the hard thing about traffic. I wonder if we're going to see something similar in F1 quali later. F2 qualifying was a bit interesting as well.
Yeah, it was, and unfortunately this circuit just lends itself to that. As I said, with its many S-bends, it was, as you said in the intro, designed with 2 wheels in mind as opposed to 4. So it's quite an extreme challenge for car drivers, this track, in that respect.
It is fun, but it's a challenge, I have to say. And if your driver doesn't like to commit yourself too much, you're going to be in a spot of bother. But anyway, we are about to start the final 2 minutes and 30 seconds of qualifying, uninterrupted, luckily. So we should have a bit of a break before we get to the main F1 sprint race action. Don't forget the F1 sprint will start at 2 p.m. UK time. So make sure you join us for that on JBMotorsports. But the action for the sprint race, the build-up, will start at 1:15. So make sure you tune in. But JB as the host, of course, for this weekend. Megan will be joining as well. Megan will be joining F1 Academy for race 1 later. She's got a bit of a sore throat at the moment, so that's why she's taken qualifying off, which is understandable. Get better soon, Megan. Josh T, by the way, has got a sore throat as well. So it seems to be going around, this bug. I hope I don't get it. Every time I always go to London, I always tend to pick up something. So I'm going to London on Wednesday, so hopefully I won't pick up something there. But Lovin Fossey heading towards the second sector as Dorian waits purple third sector.
Yeah, Dorian's grabbing this qualifying session by the scruff of the neck, it seems. She's currently nearly 0.2 of a second faster than Maya Berg, and is looking to extend that gap. We're currently watching Lola Lovenfoss on screen now. She's 1/4 of a second down. And she's being measured against Emily de Hoos in front of her, I think, as opposed to Dorian Pan, who's up front. Bianca Bustamante also on a lap. She's about to come across the timing line, sector 2, and is 1/2 a second down.
Yeah, so I wonder if Dorian got blocked with her lap. But here we go. Here's Lovin Fossey up to the line. She goes. Does she improve?
Nope.
Ooh, only a few
0.03 of a second.
not that far.
Dorian Pan now going through the final corner now. Foot down. Blasts the car towards the line. And
still improves.
She does extend. Yeah. Improves by 0.04 of a second.
Block P3, Abby P3 now as well.
Yeah, that was one of those mega laps there by Leah Block. Came out of nowhere. 0.6 of a second behind Dorian Pan, but up to 4th place. Well done, Leah Block.
She has improved so much this season. It's great to see. I mean, she is an asset to this series, and she's always competing at the bottom, but now she's competing regularly quite near the top as well. But I think this could be Dorian's only challenge for pole here this evening for race 1. Maya, she has been looking strong all weekend long, and she's looking to prove that as she makes her way through the sector 2 split line.
Yeah, checkered flag out. Aurelia Nobels and Chloe Chambers have completed their final laps, so they will start no better than 9th and 12th, respectively. Maya Berg now coming up to the sector 2 timing line. What can she do as
She
opposed
doesn't
to
improve.
Dorian Poe? Doesn't. She's a quarter of a second down. So it seems to me that she will probably start no better than second in this race.
But that's still ahead of pulling. That's still ahead of pulling. That is probably the key thing right now. She doesn't have that long to go to finish her lap. She's had a great final sector before, so can she have a great final sector once again? Here comes Maya up to the line. She's going to get a tow from her rivals. Yellow flag sector 3. That might have compromised quite a few drivers' laps as someone's gone off. P2 for Maya. So she can't compete. We got Marty just finished. Those Nobles, Edgar, Chambers, Houseman, and Lovin Fossey. They can't complete their laps. And I think with the yellow flag sector 3, that will be it. So Dorian takes 2 crucial points to help her close up to Abby Pulling, and that is huge.
Yeah, we. I think all of the qualifying sessions ended in either a pulling or a pin pole position this year.
Mostly pulling.
It's mostly been pulling, certainly, yeah. But yeah, that's great for as the Kramer team celebrate a brilliant pole position there from Dorian Pow.
I'm a bit
Abby
worried.
Pulling,
I think Sky are going to go to an ad break.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, there we go. They're going to an ad break. So we will go through your results then for this. We've got Dorian Ping that takes pole with Maya in second, Abby Pulling third, Lila Block in fourth, Alcabasi in fifth, Alicia in sixth, not too bad for her, Marty seventh, Bianca Bustamante in eighth, Aurelia Nobles in ninth, Jess Edgar in 10th, we got Carrie Schreiner in 11th, Chloe Chambers 12th, Emily DeHouse 13th, Aman Alcabasi 14th, Tina Hausman in 15th, Lola Lover-Fossey in 16th. We're going to have a quick off because otherwise we'll get told off. So, Omi, quickly, your thoughts on this session and going into race 1 later.
It's going to be a very competitive race 1 as well. The start's going to be critical under the lights as well. Abby Pulling seems like might not be the fastest one this weekend, so she's going to have some challenge if she wants to win.
Wes, what about you?
I think Abby Pulling can afford to take it easy. It's worth remembering she's got an absolutely huge lead, so she doesn't need to be making any silly maneuvers into turn 1. I think she can pretty much just cruise to this title.
I think she can as well. So yeah, we're going to have to go, but make sure you join us in around about 15 minutes time for the sprint race build-up for F1. But you can join us later on at about this evening for race 1 in F1 Academy. Can Abby do enough to clinch the title, or will it go down to race 2? We'll have to wait and see. I've been Jess Ball, he's been Wes, and we'll see you soon for the sprint race. Goodbye.